Hello everyone, I'm Amod and welcome to my YouTube channel. As I have mentioned in my previous video that I received a message from a tester who had attended an interview for automation testing profile. And in that interview, he was asked to automate a scenario using any web automation tool of his choice. So let me quickly recap the scenario. So the scenario was asked that launch yatra.com, then click on departure date calendar with default selected cities. You need to select any random date with the lowest fare in the current month. Then select any random date with lowest fare in the next month. And finally, select any random date with lowest fare in both months. So I have already solved this problem using Selenium WebDriver with Java, and if you haven't watched that video, I will suggest you to watch this video first so that you can understand the logic and how we have created the locators. And in this video tutorial, we will be using Playwright with TypeScript to solve the same scenario. So let's get started. I'm going to launch yatra.com first, and you can see departure from and going to cities are selected. So when you click on departure date calendar, it shows you 2 months, current month and the next month. So the scenario is we need to select the random date with the lowest fare in the current month, then in the next month, and then select any random date with lowest fare in both the months. I have already created one simple Playwright TypeScript project and one spec file and a test block, and in the test block I am loading yatra.com. So the first step, I need to click on departure date calendar. So let me quickly inspect departure date calendar, which is this div. If you select it and go to accessibility tab, then you can see it has role edge button and the name is departure date input box, and I feel this name is unique. So which locator I should call? Await, then page dot get by role. So let me pass the role button. So I will copy this name and I can paste it here. Once we have clicked on departure date, so if you inspect any date in the current month, let's try to find the parent of this date. That you can see any date is created using the div tag, and if you scroll up, so here you can see this div is basically parent of all the dates in the current month. And as I have covered previously in my previous video, that we were using area label with the this value. So if you mouse over on this div, which is the parent, and here you can see this is a list box and accessible name is month 2025-06. Since I need to create the script so that it will work for any month, I cannot basically use this name here. I need to make it dynamic. So first requirement is here that I need to get the current year and current month in this format. So instead of using plain JavaScript or TypeScript, I'm going to use one npm package called date-fns. So here is the library. If you click on it, you can see date-fns provides the most comprehensive yet simple and consistent toolset for manipulating JavaScript dates in a browser and Node.js. And to install, we can use this npm command, which I have already added to my project. And if you see here in the package.json, I have already this package added. Now, how to generate current year hyphen current month? So that is very simple. We have one method called format. Let me import this format from date fns, and then I can pass new date, and format will be YYY then mm. And let me store this into a variable, maybe const year month. Now you might be asking how to get the next month. So here we have one method called add month itself, which will be also coming from the same package. And here you can use new date. That means it will give you the current date, and then use comma and the second argument how many months you want to add. So let me use 1. Once we get the next month, we can call format method on this data, and let me format using the same format, and I can store again const year next month. Now let's go to the second locator. So here I can use now get by role locator because I know the role will be list box, and this name I can create dynamically. So I'm going to use await page dot get by role. Role is list box, and name is month will be fixed, and here basically I need to pass the value. So I can use tilde symbol here so that I can embed variable within a string. So here I can use year month. Let's close it. So let me store this locator reference into a variable, maybe const current month. And here we are just finding the element, so I can get rid of this wait as well. If you are performing any action, then we need to basically wait for element to be found and then perform any action. So now we can get dates from any month using the locator created just now. Now within this div, we have these individual dates, and if you click on any date, you can see the role is option, and we have name like not available Monday June 9th 2025. So obviously this name is dynamic, and this not available is coming because these are past date. So whenever we're getting dates from a current month, we need to make sure that we should exclude past date and also dates from the next month, because if you see for July, let me inspect the last one, and if you go to the next step, you can see we can see the date from the next month as well, which is here. It says outside month and it is for the 1st August. So if you try to locate the parent of this div, it is going to give you the dates from the next month as well. So basically we need to exclude those unwanted dates. We just need to get the dates from the current month which is valid. So basically here I was struggling to use Playwright locator where I can use these conditions, because if you see for the June, I need to ignore the div where we have area label contains not available or area disabled attribute is true. Similarly, for the next month, I need to exclude those divs where class value contains outside month. So I tried different combinations like filter, has not, but nothing worked. But you try this scenario, and if something works, you can paste the code in the comment or you can email me as well. But here I'm going to use CSS selector. So let's create the CSS selector in the browser first. So basically all the div has a role option, and here I'm going to use chaining of locator so that I will get the date from the current month or any desired month only. So that I will cover in some time. Let me write to get only the valid dates first. So I'm going to use div tag, and rule will be option. So it's CSS, don't need to use at symbol, that is for XPath. So now you can see it is finding total 77 dates. And if you see the first one, it is from previous month basically coming, which I don't want. But for all the past dates, we can see area disabled is true. So I'm going to add another filter. I can use square bracket area disabled true. So not true, I need to use false because I want the active dates. Now it is finding total 62 elements, and the first one is the first date which is active in the current month. And if you go to last, you can see it is the date from August, which also I need to ignore. So for that, I'm going to use class attribute which does not contain outside month. So first I'm going to use attribute. So class contains outside month, but I want reverse where it does not contain. So I can use pseudo class called not and put into bracket. So now you can see it is finding only 52 elements. First one is the first active date from the current month, and the last one is the last date from the next month. So we have excluded all the past dates and dates from the month which is not on the screen. Now let me copy this. So here I can use await. Then I need to use this locator reference so that it will give me the dates from the current month. So await current month dot locator. This can be playwright, and here I can pass the CSS which we have created just now. So since I'm using single quotes in between, so let me use double quotes outside. And again, I can store this into a variable, maybe current month date. Now we'll get all the dates, but I need to basically extract the fare so that I can get the minimum out of that. So any date contains a span where we have this price. And if you click on this span, you can see we don't have any rule here or name. You can use get by text locator here, but when you try to extract the text, it will give you this 31 as well, which you don't want. So basically, I want to get this span where we have this rupee symbol and I want to extract that value. So here what I can do, await, then on this locator, I'm going to find further. So current month dates dot locator, I can use span tag with the custom pseudo class called text. This I have already covered in my playwright series, that we have a custom pseudo class text, and here I can pass rupee symbol. So basically saying that get the span where text contains rupee symbol, and this span which is the parent also contains rupee symbol indirectly, and this span already containing. So when I'm using text pseudo class, it is going to give me the smallest one. That means this one, not the this one. So when I try to get the inner text, it will give me this value, not including this and this. And again, I can store this locator reference also into a variable, maybe fares. Now let me get the text. So I'm going to use await, then fares. I know that this is going to find many element, so I'm going to use all inner text function, which I can store again one variable, means all fares, and let me log it. I'm going to log my current month. So console.log current month locator. You can see I'm using variable within the string, and here I am missed dollar symbol. Now it will use this value, and let me run this test again. So you can see it has click on departure date. Let me go to console, and it is still giving me empty array. Now this locator we have already tested because we have written in browser and it was highlighting, and this is also simple, so it should not fail here. So what might be, so here, so you must have noticed when we click on this departure date calendar, I think, let me rephrase it. If you click on this departure date, you can see prices are coming little late, and Playwright's not waiting for that because Playwright does not know I need to wait here so that prices should appear. So I explicitly need to wait for it. So let me inspect first one, because if the price is coming for one date, it will be for all the dates as well. So for the current date, you can see we have one extra attribute area hyphen current equal to date, and then also in the class we can see it is today. So let me uniquely identify this first current date. So I'm going to use div, then area current equal to today. Sorry, it is date. So it is finding one element. I will copy this element, and after clicking on the departure date input box, I am going to use await page dot wait for selector, and here I can paste the locator, but this will be only for the date. I want this div should contain the rupee symbol. That's then only I can say okay, my prices are also loaded and no need to wait further. So here I am going to use custom pseudo class for CSS, which is given by Playwright, which is hash hyphen text, and here I am going to use rupee symbol. So basically here it will wait for the current date till it has a text rupee symbol. One code is missing, so let me correct it. And now let me quickly run this test again. So here you can see it has clicked, and let's go to console, and this time we can see it is giving me all the fares. And here also you can see it has waited for 1.3 seconds, and here it has given I think 21 prices, and in the current month we have 21 active dates. So one major step is completed. Now I need to get the minimum from this array. So in the array we are getting all the fares, but all the fares contains comma and rupee symbol, so I cannot directly apply min function on that. So first I need to remove rupee symbol and comma, whatever we have done for the Selenium WebDriver program. So here on this array, we can call map function, which is very much similar to stream map, which we used in my previous video. So here, every fare which I can represent using fare and arrow symbol, I can use fare dot replace. Here we can pass one regular expression like replace all non-digit characters with the empty char. So I can use forward slash to start the regular expression in JavaScript, and then to represent non-digit characters I can use backslash capital D, which is basically representing all the non-digit characters, and I can use global flag G so that it will replace all the non-digit characters. Then comma, I need to pass the value to replace by. So it is giving some error. Mouse over, it says unterminated regular expression. So here I am missing slash. And after removing all the non-digit characters, I can convert these fare into integer. So I will call parseInt method, and here I will pass this complete fare after replacing non-digit characters, and then I think parseInt we need to pass the radix. So I'm going to use 10, which will represent the decimal numbers. And there will be one more bracket. In this fare, we can store into a variable all formatted fares. Now we can call math interface. Here we have method min. Let me use the spread operator to pass all the elements from my formatted array, and I can store this result into a variable, maybe minimum fare, and I'm going to log this on the console. So let me quickly run this program and see if it is able to find the minimum fare. So here you can see it is giving me 3799, which is obviously the minimum fare in the current month. Now after getting the minimum fare, I need to pass that fare to the locator so that I can get those dates where we have that minimum fare. But this minimum fare is not formatted as per whatever we see on UI. So I need to format it first. So here I can append rupee symbol first, then plus. So use the variable minimum fare, and we have one method called to local string. Here you can pass the local, which is en hyphen in for India, and let me store into a variable formatted minimum fare, and let me log this as well on the console. Now let's come to the final part where I need to select any random date with the minimum fare. So if you scroll up, again I need to use this reference here. But here it was giving me all the dates. But now I need to get the dates where we have minimum fare. So let me copy this reference. And here I can use await, then the reference. So basically, this locator will give me all these dates. Here I need to filter where we have the lowest fare. So here I can call filter function, and in this filter function I can pass one object with key hash text, and value will be formatted minimum fare. Let me store this reference into one variable, maybe dates with minimum fare. So suppose if this locator gives me 5, so basically I need to select any random one like third, second or first. So I need to generate one random integer within my range. Range means if it is finding 5, then it should give me any integer number between 1 to 5, not 6, 7. So I need to use bound. So for that I can use math interface again. We have one function called float. Here we have math.random, which will give you a number between 0 and 1, but 1 will be excluded. And you need to multiply this with the size of this reference. So let me store the count first. So this reference, and I can use dates with minimum fare dot count function. And this count I can use here. I'm missing the parenthesis here. And since I'm getting the count, so let me use await as well. Now I can store this into one index, and it is const, not int. And now the final step, use the reference dates with minimum fare dot nth function. I can pass index, and then let's perform click. And also let me use await here. So let's quickly run it again. So Yatra is loading. It has clicked on departure date calendar and it selected 28 June. So if you click on this calendar again, you can see 28 June has lowest fare. Now I'm going to run this test again. Let's see which date it selects this time, because we are selecting random date. So now it clicks on departure date, and this time it has selected 30th June, because 30th June also has the lowest fare. So this is for the current month. Let me see for the next month. So for that, just I need to use this reference here and run the program. So Yatra is loaded, clicked on departure date. Now it has selected 22nd July. If you open the calendar, you can see 22nd July has the minimum fare. So it is working for any month now. Now the third part of the scenario is that you need to find the lowest fare from both the month and then select, which will be assignment for you. But you can see how I have approached the problem. I tried to use Playwright locators wherever it is possible. Otherwise, I use the CSS. So that's all in this video. If you like my videos, please like, comment, subscribe and share with others. Thank you everyone.